Welcome guys to the first installment of our discussion regarding Intermediate Accounting 1. The first topic will be cash and cash equivalent. So cash and cash equivalent is the first line item in the current assets section of our financial statement. So what are the items that are included in the cash and cash equivalent section? Number 1, cash on hand. Number 2, cash in bank. 3, cash fund. And lastly, cash equivalent. But generally, cash and cash equivalent is divided into two parts. Number 1 is the cash section and the cash equivalent section. The cash section is composed of the three: cash on hand, cash in bank, and cash fund. So when we say cash on hand, these are items that are still undeposited. So ito yung mga hawak pa ng company na nasa premises nila. As long as it is undeposited, it is treated as cash on hand. When we say cash in bank, of course, it is deposited cash items. When we say cash fund, these are cash either on hand or in bank that are set aside for a specific purpose. Ibig sabihin, nakatabi siya for a specific purpose. Pwedeng pambili ng asset, pwedeng pambayad ng utang, or pwede rin na ito ay panggastos. Basta siya ay nakaset aside, whether cash on hand yan or cash in bank, it is treated as cash fund. Cash equivalent will be later on discussed in another video. So for now, we will discuss cash. So what is cash? Ideally, cash is money. But of course, in accounting, it's not simply that. So if we have money, then are we going to recognize that money that we have or not? Okay? Now, firstly, we should know the instruments that are to be considered cash. So when we say instruments, eto lang yung mga bagay na pwede mong i-treat as cash. Take note, pwede. Not necessarily pag meron ka nito, automatic cash na siya. Okay? Pero eto lang yung mga bagay na pwede mong i-treat as cash. If hindi siya isa dito, then in no case shall it be included as cash. So number 1 here is bills. Okay? 20 pesos, 50 pesos, 100, 200, 500, and 1,000, these are all bills. Secondly, coins. Okay? So, piso, 5 pesos, 10 pesos, and I think we have the 20 peso coin now. And then lastly, we have checks. Okay? So, ideally, these instruments, ito lang ang pwedeng i-treat as cash. So, if hindi siya isa sa tatlong to, in no case shall it be recorded as cash. Next, how is cash recognized? Okay? When we say cash, it is recognized as a current asset. Okay? Basically, cash and cash equivalent, they are recognized as a current asset. So, this is the first item or line item in the financial statements. And then, lastly, we will talk about its measurement. How do you measure cash? So, you measure cash at face value. So, when you say face value, kung magkano mo nakikita yung cash, ganun mo siya i-measure. 20 peso bill, may hawak kang 20 pesos. How do you measure that? 20 pesos. Kung ano yung nakikita mo, yun yung value niya. Okay? In some cases, it is impractical to treat cash in face value. Example, if it is in foreign currency. So, if it is in foreign currency, then it should be treated in the current or converted in the current exchange rate. So, let's say for example, $1 yan. Paano ko siya i-measure? At $1 ba? In the Philippines, we measure, our financial statement should be reported in peso. Therefore, kung meron kang dollar or any other foreign currency, you should convert it into the current exchange rate. And lastly, what about if it is account that is due in a bank or financing institute that is under bankruptcy, then therefore So let's say, for example, you deposited your cash in a bankrupt or under dispute financing institution. How do you measure that? Of course, not in face value, but in what we call net realizable value. Okay? Sir, why is it measured at net realizable value? Let's be practical. Let's say, for example, may deposit ka sa bank na 1 million. And consequently, nag-file for bankruptcy yung company yan or yung bank na yan. It so happens na ang mababayaran na lang sa'yo ay 700,000 or let's say kahit 200,000. How do you measure your cash in bank on that specific bank? Ipipilit ko ba bang 1 million or 10 million kung magkano yung deposito ko? Of course not. Kung magkano na lang yung makokolekta mo, yun na lang yung i-value mo dun sa cash mo. Okay? So, that concludes our introduction to cash and cash equivalent.